All right, hey guys. Wanted to get into the weeds a little bit on jump rope just because it's the last week of the open and jump rope's on the equipment list. The likelihood that you see a jump rope Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, whenever you end up doing the open, is pretty high. And honestly, I'm tired of two things. I'm tired of CrossFitters that have been doing CrossFit for like years and still don't have double unders. And I'm tired of coaches who think the answer to jumping rope is jumping more rope, right? Somebody asks how to get double unders and they say, oh, you just gotta keep trying. That's not how we learn to snatch, it's not how we learn to squat, it's not how we learn to jump rope, all right? So talking about our jump rope, first thing I wanna talk about is the sizing, right? It's a big thing. Everybody, when you get your first jump rope, they say, oh, like you need to stand under it. I don't even know where mine's gonna go. You need to stand under it, and it needs to be right at the nipples or the armpits or whatever. Yes and no, right? So your first jump rope should be a little bit longer, right? It should probably be somewhere under the armpits. And then as you get better, you'll be able to go to a shorter jump rope. The reason for that is because when I have a longer rope, it gives me a bigger loop, which is gonna give me more space and time to jump through, right? So I'm not gonna be able to jump rope as fast, but it's gonna be a little bit more forgiving because I'm gonna have a little bit more drag on the ground as it approaches my feet, which is gonna give me a little bit more time to jump. Obviously, as we improve, I can start to shorten things up, right? You see somebody that's really good at jump rope, they're gonna have a jump rope like down at the hips. It's crazy, but if you're really proficient, that's where you can get. Thing number two is handles, right? Number one thing to a good jump rope, this is a really expensive jump rope, and it's meant to be, this string is meant to be as light as possible. Right, so when I'm swinging this thing, I just want to be swinging this string. But if I'm holding my handles out here, I'm swinging most of this handle with my jump rope, right? Good handle's probably going to have somewhere for your thumb to sit towards the front, right? Like so. And the reason for that is so that you're only spinning rope. You're not spinning rope and a handle. This rope is, I don't know, like 4 ounces. This handle is at least, one handle is at least double that. So I can either spin 4 ounces of rope or 12 ounces of rope plus handle, right? Do the math there. Thing number 3 is rhythm. This is another coaching flaw that I see a lot where people say, oh, you just got to find the rhythm to it. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't make anyone any better at jumping rope, all right? There's 2 things that go into your jump rope and your double under specifically, and that's your rope speed, right? That's how fast my rope is coming over, right? And that's the height of my jump is number 2, all right? So my rope speed, right? If I'm jumping really fast, I'm not gonna have a lot of time to fit in that second cycle, right? And same thing, if I'm not jumping very high, I'm not gonna have the space for that, right? Which is gonna give me time in the air with the height of my jump to give me a second rotation, right? So I need both of those when I go from a single under to a double under. To get that double under, I need to have the space and the time, which means slowing down my rope speed and jumping a little bit higher than I usually would, right? I see it all the time. People that are super proficient with single unders, they can do 100 single unders in like 20 seconds. It's crazy, but they can't do a double under, and it's because they're going way too fast. You got to slow things down and start off at a almost like a casual pace. When you watch a proficient athlete do double unders in a workout, they're not stressed out, they're not bunched up, right? They're staying casual, they're staying loose, and they're spinning that rope, just trying to breathe, right? It's almost like a relaxing part of the workout. It should be a break. Number 4, this is something else I wanted to bring up. I actually got this idea from the adaptive course. If you ask any wheelchair or seated athlete what the hardest part about their jump rope is, they use a split rope, right? The hardest part for them is when the rope touches the ground, right? So when you hear that ground, that doo-doo that you hear, that's the contact with the ground, and that force reverberates back into the shoulder, and that's actually where your shoulder fatigue comes from, a lot more than just you spinning the rope. Spinning the rope is very little energy lost. It's actually that contact with the ground that's where most of your fatigue comes from. So it's a two-sided coin there, because on the other hand, that's also where almost all of your feedback comes from, right? You get that auditory feedback of hearing that doom doom, and then you get that physical feedback of actually feeling the rope hit the ground, and that helps you stay in rhythm and know where to speed up or jump higher, or go slower, or whatever you need to do to maintain your set of double unders, right? So if you really want to be super proficient at double unders, right? Let's say you can do 100 unbroken, great. Now try to get to where we can do 100 unbroken without touching the ground, because that's going to make me way less fatigued than if I'm slapping the ground for 100 reps, right? So that's kind of instead of trying to do double crossover, backflip, jump ropes, try to not let that rope touch the ground. And usually you can do that by just tilting your rope up a little bit. All right, so just, it's kind of low down and dirty on double unders. Major keys if you're trying to get double unders: slow down the speed of your rope and jump a little bit higher, right? I always tell people when they're practicing to try and get a double under, do 5 or 10 single unders at a really slow pace, right? Really slow, casual, like if you were just, I don't know, the 10 slowest single unders that you can do, and then try to whip into your double under. A lot of people have seen a lot of success with that. That's going to teach you about the speed of your rope, and it's also going to teach you how high you need to jump, right? Because you're going to be able to really pay attention to how high off the floor I have to get to give with that much time. All right, so yeah, there's your couple minutes on double unders right there.